I've read, Anthony, and here in this section of the prophet, it's an allusion to the new covenant when it comes to divorce and when it comes to even violence, as you see there in verse
Mm.
16. So he hates divorce, which is interesting because he allows divorce under the law of Moses. As we know, I mean, Jesus talks about the certificate of divorce. So obviously God allowed for that. But here there's a sort of interesting, maybe preparing of the way for this new covenant.
Mhm.
As we will see in the next chapter, we actually get to the messenger of this new covenant.
Yes.
What do you make of that? And also an overturning, perhaps, of the laws regarding violence.
Well, I hate divorce, I think, would apply at any point. God never, ever thought that divorce was a good idea. As Jesus said, Jesus is the commentator here, he said, I allowed divorce because of the hardness of your heart. That applied to the old covenant times. So God was never in favor of divorce. He was always against it. He allowed it because of the hardness of the people's hearts. As you rightly said, in the new covenant, expressly, Jesus said, Moses allowed you, because of the hardness of your heart now, to divorce on some occasions. But I, Jesus, now we're talking about the new covenant, which is not the same as the old, as I've tried to stress. I'm telling you that you may not have a divorce. Now, Paul allows for a divorce for a different reason. If an unbeliever leaves, then I think the believer is not bound, but that's a different situation. But the hatred of divorce on the part of God is pretty much standard in both covenants, although he allowed it, as I said, for hardness of heart, which is specified there in Deuteronomy 22. It's not even quite clear what that exception was, but we know from the New Testament that that hardness of heart provision, that allowance, is now gone. So even more so then, we could say God hates divorce, although he still hated it at the time when he wrote through Malachi as well.